Kaylee, your friendly muse here. The following is additional footage that got cut for time from our first Garthim build video. You can watch it on its own, or you can follow along with our step-by-step blog post linked in the description.
In retrospect, getting all the pieces and bits back out and looking at where I left off, evaluating the situation, I don't think this was going to be done in time for Montreal. Particularly with these bits. Yeah, see, I can barely fit it on camera. These are the leg assemblies. They're the, yeah, I'll get that out of the way. They're the lower legs. And on my little model here, it's a mini-me. They're actually supposed to attach right here above the knees and basically hide my human legs and make them look like I have spindly crab legs instead. So the whole Garthim costume itself is basically L200 foam and black Worbla, and that worked really well for the shell and for the head, but it's just not working for the legs. So this is so frustrating. You can see this is the underside of the leg assembly, and everything's tearing, and you know what, this is coming off, and then I can get my hand up in there. So now I should be able to get at least a finger up there and press and hold things in place as hopefully that'll work. So plan B, because even with being able to get my hand in there, anytime I try to reinforce anything, it just shreds. I've decided I'm really not a fan of black Worbla. So, instead I am reinforcing each of the joints, and particular this section here, because this is actually the bit that will be up against my leg. So I'm reinforcing everything. I'm tightening up these joints, and then basically whoa! Because I'm gonna back up here. Because so I'm reinforcing all of these areas, and then this is all going to get covered with expanding foam. The other reason is that I'm not happy with the seams, and all of this is supposed to be much bumpier and rounded than it turned out being. There's a few bumps that a little bit of texture I was able to get in, but it's not nearly to the extent that I wanted it. So basically with the expanding foam, it's going to cover all these problems, it's going to create the texture that I want, and it's going to reinforce the whole thing, and I'm even going to shoot some up on the inside, and then this will be very solid. So I have plastic wrapped large sections of both my model, and I've plastic wrapped the legs for the leg assemblies, because I only want expanding foam on the base, the black Worbla and so forth. I've put down plenty of plastic, I hope. I have gloves. I've worked with this stuff once, and it was like a fill it and leave it thing. So this is going to be very interesting, and I really hope it works. So, hello everyone. It is Thursday, and we're still making major adjustments. I was really hoping by this point that we would be in the home stretch of painting and adding the final cosmetic details, but no. See, the thing is, each plate on the back of Garthim affects the plate above it. So basically all week we've been going, things are close, not quite, and having to make minor adjustments. And the question hanging over our heads the entire time was, how are we going to attach plate 2 and plate 1, which are the very two top ones, and the shoulder piece and the one that goes right over the head. Because the way we had put the plates on the rig had 3 attaching at the very top, and then 1 and 2 almost like floating bits. And it was hard to figure out, and we kept saying, okay, well, let's get the bottom ones adjusted, and then we'll be able to see exactly where everything goes. And one of the conclusions we came to very last thing on Tuesday was that after adjusting everything as much as we could, that ultimately the rig on the back was too tall. So that we liked the curve and we liked how everything lay, but that it was too far away from my back. So Tony made the adjustments, and we cut out a section, and basically just to bring, not to change this shape here, but just bring everything down closer. And then when we did that today, this morning, it affected the lay of plate 3, which was at the top, and we had this terrible moment of panic where we couldn't curve 3 anymore, and realized that after dropping it, it really wasn't going to fit. That 1 and 2 were not going to fit where they needed to be. And everything was just not looking right. And then we were like, are we going to chop a big chunk out of 3? And then we're looking at the pictures going, but 3 is a really big plate, and that would be entirely the wrong shape, and what are we going to do? And that would take all this time, and we won't be ready for the weekend. And there was a real moment of panic there. So cooler heads prevailed, and it's like, okay, let's just flatten 3 out a little bit. And we ultimately made the decision to move 3 and 4 further down. So instead of 3 attaching at the very top of the rig here, and 4 here, and then 5 down here, we moved 4 down, moved 3 to where 4 was, and then we're like, okay, let's see, is there going to be room for 2 and 3, or for 1 and 2. And we had to flatten out some of the curve we had put into 3. And I'm very, very happy to report that it all worked. And finally, we have everything pretty much exactly where we want it. And it's all matching the pictures.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. We have new cosplay, craft, and creativity videos every week.